One more. Muslims. Can you feel that? Can you fucking feel that? One word, one fucking word. And all your assholes shrunk up and went, oh, make it good, Australia, man. Don't fuck this up. Because you think when I say Muslims, I'm about to be racist, don't you? I'm not racist, I'm a bigot. It's completely different. And being Muslim isn't a race. I'm not talking about Arab people. I have no problems with Arab people. I like to eat food late at night. I'm talking about Muslims. I'm not talking about terrorists. Every comic does a Muslim joke, does a terrorist joke. Oh, obviously, most of them aren't terrorists. I'm talking about the things that we know is shit. The fact that the women have very few rights in their culture. Now, it sounds good in theory, but in a modern society, it should be frowned upon. I don't think I could be a Muslim because they can't eat bacon or drink beer. And they're like the two greatest fucking things in the world. You take bacon and beer away from me and I'll fly a plane into a fucking building. I love drinking. Hate people who don't drink. Never met an interesting person in my life who didn't drink. If you don't drink, you're a boring cunt and all your stories suck. All your stories end the same way with, and then I got home. No one gives a shit that you've been promoted at work, and no one gives a fuck that your kids don't have bruises. Ever ask a non-drinker why they don't drink? Same fucking answer every time. You go, why don't you drink? And they go, I don't like the taste of it. Nobody does! No one likes the taste of it. We drink because we fucking have to. No one has ever had a shot of tequila and gone, oh, that's lovely. Next time I'll have that instead of pudding. It's so Moorish. We drink because life's shit, and you got to do whatever you can to get through the fucking day. Now, I honestly didn't mean to time it like that. That's like a magic trick, and then I've decided I'm going to punch people in the head if they say the next sentence. I encourage you to do the same because they think they're better than you. Anyone who says a sentence, I don't need to drink or take drugs to have a good time. I'm high on life. Punch that cunt in the head till your hand breaks. Just, really? Well, I'm angry on alcohol. Now drive me home. Smoking's a weird one, man. Smoking's like, I appreciate with smoking that you can't smoke indoors anymore. I think that's the right law. I think if people are working there, you can't smoke in front of them. I think it's fair enough. And it's the same law all across the world. But in Australia now, prostitution is legal. But you can't smoke in front of the hooker. Because this might be detrimental to her health. Is this really the worst thing that's happening to this woman's body on a day-to-day basis? If you pay her enough money, you can burn her. I'm not saying pour petrol on her and light her up. I'm saying heat up a bit of metal, leave a good mark, let people know you were there.
Yeah, it's Jim Jeffries for y'all.
I love that guy. He's fucking hilarious, man.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah.
Salt Lake and the rest of the world.
The first show of 2015.
Tis that.
And it's already fucked up. Not the show. I mean, this 2015.
I'm really, really happy to be back with you guys, man.
Yeah,
I
and
missed you guys so much.
As you heard, Ryan is back as well.
And I brought my sexy tattoos back with me.
Nice.
Right. right? We always mention that when you're gone. Or Dan does.
I do.
They're nice.
I like them. No, I missed you guys a ton.
Felt weird sitting in the captain's chair.
I was just surprised the next morning when I woke up and I'm like, they actually did get it done.
It was recorded and uploaded.
Okay.
Matt touched all the right buttons.
Well, yeah, which is weird.
We took decent notes, and you left it like fairly childproof.
Like, hey, dude, it's set up. Push this button, push that button, done.
Yeah.
Which is funny too, because I think our abilities are contrasted, especially when we show up to these shows. Because I've got books and paper and highlighters and pens, and Ryan has an iPad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we were talking about your technical prowess.
Yeah, well,
pre-podcast.
My primitive technical abilities,
lack thereof.
I'm skilled in the technologies of scrolls and quill pens.
I think you do just fine with those carrier pigeons.
Yeah. Thanks, Dan.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Danny.
No, I did miss you guys quite a bit. I trust you both had a good holiday.
Yeah, I was back in Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did a little pheasant hunting, hung out with the parents, dogs, saw my nephew, I guess, for the first time.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
How old is your nephew?
Like 9 months.
Oh, I thought you were going to say 9 or 10
years.
It's a long time to wait to meet your nephew.
Yeah. Well, he was in Iraq and Afghanistan, so I didn't know. Really,
yeah, that's true.
I think the longest I spent away from home was 3 years without going back to Wisconsin.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
And seeing any family.
Mm-hmm.
So,
was that
nice.
like right after you hit 18?
Well, when I hit 18, I literally started I didn't get a break before between schools. It was, I got here to Hill Air Force. I joined the military, did the basic training, did all that stuff, got here, went through a whole bunch of other classes. It's like, hey, boom, you're going to Afghanistan. Get back to Afghanistan, go down and do training in Florida. Then we say, hey, we're being spun up for another mission. Hey, go out and do training in New Jersey. Then we went and did training in Colorado. And it was boom, back to Iraq. Got back from Iraq. It was like, hey, we need to go do training here and here. And then boom, back to Iraq again. So it was just constant training and traveling and doing stuff.
So have you been stationed anywhere else besides Utah?
No. I mean, my whole time in active duty, I probably spent half of it overseas in other places training and half of it here in actually Utah.
Huh.
So
is that what actually brought you to Utah?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I when I got orders to come to Utah, I was like, where the fuck is Utah?
Yeah.
I've heard of it.
But
where the fuck is it? I put in, because you get what's called a dream sheet. And you get to put down all the bases you want to go to, all the places you
all
want
the
to go
bases
to.
that you will never fucking end up
Yeah,
at.
so that's why they call it a dream sheet. It's not the actual name of it. That's what everybody calls it, though, because you're dreaming if you actually get what you want.
All the cadets or whatever.
And I was like, I want to go see the mountains. I want to go to fucking Colorado. Like, hell yeah. So I put in every single base in Colorado.
Fuck Colorado.
Okay.
Utah's where it's at, man.
Yeah, but
I don't know, man.
Denver's kind of. I've had fun in Denver and Colorado Springs. Got some decent strip clubs. I mean,
Yeah, weed's legal.
yeah,
Oh, that's true. But that's a recent development.
true.
Yeah, but this is the Mormon hub.
They got real beer.
Yeah.
I prefer their politics.
Yeah.
And their mountains are not that much different. So
They got Pikes Peak.
I vote Colorado.
Well, we have snow, and the people here really like porn, so.
Yeah, yeah.
Sweet.
Which that just clogs up
Sold.
the internet. I mean, too many people watching at once.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. I posted on Facebook last week that, I was reading something about, how great being Mormons are, and I don't know. Because we live in Utah and I'm former LDS, I read a lot about, how kind of fucked up the LDS church is about different things. And there was something I read that made me start exploring Mormon sexuality in Utah, people in Utah and how they express their sexuality. And I found some different things. And so I posted on Facebook that are fact. I went and looked at the populace for different states and the percentages of Mormons and the numbers and everything.
Does Mormon sexuality include anything but the returned missionary position?
Or soaking.
Soaking, floating, marinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bagpiping?
Bagpipe. That was a weird one.
That's a weird one.
Yeah. I still
ahead.
don't understand bagpiping, but so anyway, I saw that, of course Utah has the highest percentage of populace that's LDS.
Yes.
The next states that were closest, I believe, were Idaho, Wyoming,
Nevada.
and Nevada.
All the neighboring states.
Yeah.
I think Arizona's pretty high
Besides
too.
Colorado.
Arizona is a lot less than I thought it was, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I think you got a lot. Well, you got polygamy.
I think
Polygamous.
I think that it was
that's border towns, though. But
Yeah.
I think that there were only 3 states, maybe 4, that were above 10% LDS. Of course,
Okay.
Utah's like 70.
yeah.
And then, the
that's
next
high.
closest states were, I don't know, 25, 13, and 10 or something like that. And all the others were, the next closest ones below that were like 7, and then it drops off a ton.
Yeah.
Below 1%.
It always scares me a little bit to see any particular geographical region with a demographic above 50% of one type.
But the thing is, too, is
That's always dangerous.
how many are actually Mormon and not just culturally Mormon? Because I know people who are.
I don't know what that means.
I know I got friends who are like, yeah, I'm Mormon. Then you start talking about Mormon,
Pass
like,
me a beer.
yeah, it's fucked up. All that Mormon shit's fucked up. All that shit, that's all fucked up. It's so fucking stupid. They're drinking coffee, drinking beer, and smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
They do not practice the doctrines of Mormon, but since
Yeah,
their family is Mormon, they identify as Mormon.
Yeah.
I
That's
don't
why they're
think anyone
culturally Mormon, like being culturally Jewish.
Mormons.
Yeah.
No, that's why it's to say they're not actually practicing the Mormon religion, but they consider themselves Mormon. They will identify as Mormon. That's why I'm like, no, you're culturally Mormon.
Do they believe it? I mean,
No.
Well, in either way, so the point was that in a state where, around 70% of the populace identifies as being Mormon, Utah has the highest rates of pornography pay subscriptions on the internet.
Yeah.
Of
And
any other state, Utah
plastic
leads the
surgery.
nation. Yeah. And I just thought that was interesting.
that is. I actually think the plastic surgery thing's interesting too, because I've been shit on forever for tattoos that are visible, right? But how is plastic surgery any different in terms
it's
of
not.
altering your body?
Yeah. Well, and we also
medication.
are one of the leaders in prescription.
Yeah, antidepressant medications are one of the
antidepressants and prescription
And pain pills, right?
Yeah, prescription medication being abused.
Yeah. I mean, basically, you're taking cocaine.
Yeah, well, yeah, you've got a bunch of housewives who are either doing meth or stealing their kids' ADHD medicine,
I had actually
or
heard,
they're on antidepressants because they've all been raised to be superwomen. They've got to do everything. They've got to be the Molly Mormon happy homemaker.
yeah.
They've got to be the Stepford wife, the Hellcat in bed, and take care of the kids while also maintaining a job because, frankly, both parents basically need to work these days to be able to pay all the bills.
Well, and they're also responsible for keeping a godly spirit in the household.
Right, and all of their church callings in addition to that.
Yeah.
Right.
But on a high note, Utah is no longer the meth capital, I heard.
Are we not?
Was a high note a pun? Was that? Did you throw that in there? On
No,
purpose?
that wasn't even on purpose. That was on accident, but it's a good one. I'm going to take credit for it. I did that on purpose.
On a high note, meth capital. Nice.
I had heard rumors another state is now, I can't remember which state it was, but they said that Utah is no longer the meth capital.
Was it Kentucky?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I think they just moved over to like Idaho with
Florida?
the supremacists and stuff.
Florida's fucked up in every way.
And half of Florida's owned by the
they
Mormons.
do have marriage equality there now.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit too.
Yeah, they got some fucky shit going on with that right now, though, too.
Yeah, they do. They sure do.
Do we want to talk about?
Some fucky shit going on with that.
So do we want to talk about the events in Paris at all, real quick?
What do you mean, Ryan?
I mean, just
Do you have the article, or do you want me to
I kind of had a little bit right there, but
All right.
I mean, I think
start us off?
I haven't actually read the article yet. This one, but
I read
I mean,
several
I think we
articles today.
I mean,
I read several articles today, and I've been arguing with people who share Ben Affleck's belief that saying that Islam is bad is gross and racist.
It's racist, yeah.
Because Islamic people are all only what, brown? No.
no.
Well, even that doesn't matter. I mean, just pick out any other group. I don't like the beliefs of Lutherans and the way that they act upon the teachings of their thing. And does that make
gross
that's
and
racist? Yeah, is
racist.
that racist? Yeah. What the fuck is a Lutheran?
Well,
Usually from Wisconsin, but
yeah.
no, I'm just kidding. Minnesota too. But no, I'm just saying it's a religion. It's not
Yeah.
racism.
Yeah.
It's bigotry.
And the office that got attacked was Charlie Hebdo or I don't know if
Hebdo.
Hebdo. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right.
That's a different one.
Where they've been producing comics depicting Muhammad.
Right, yeah, it's a satire newspaper.
Yeah, it's a satire.
It's kind of like Mad Magazine.
Yeah. Well, some Islamists, some terrorists went in there and literally did a straight up.
No, they were terrorists who just so happened to be Islamic.
No, they're Islamic terrorists. They were there fighting for
Muslims. Okay,
they're fighting. They're fighting for fucking Islam.
Yeah.
I mean, it was straight up like you see in a Hollywood movie when you see the pictures of these guys where they literally jumped out of a van, full ski mask, fully automatic weapons, and unleashed hell on this fucking building.
Yep.
Yeah. Did you watch the videos?
I didn't see the videos. I saw a couple clips, a couple stills from it, and I'm like, that's not just a guy randomly coming down the street and shooting into a store. These are guys that had planned this attack out to actually physically go there and kill as many fucks as they could.
Yeah. Let me just preface this whole thing because I want to cut off the negative comments or whatever emails or whatever we get, because there's a quote conflation issue here with Islam and terrorism, right? But the fact is, and we talked about this pre-show, right? Like, how many places can you go in this country or in the world and see statues and paintings or whatever it is of big fat Buddha bellies, this grossly obese interpretation of the Buddha, right? And all over the place, right? And there's nobody running out of the hills, with their orange frocks or whatever it is and their bald heads that are coming out to try to kill people for depicting the Buddha in a negative way. Never.
Well, it's
never
not,
happens,
right?
Well, it's only Islam.
Well, and then the argument you get is, well, it's not part of Buddhist theology that you can't depict.
All right, thank you.
The Buddha.
There you go.
But
that's exactly the point.
But even then, it's like, okay, so let's say that it were part of Buddhist theology for that, or that we were talking pre-podcast that
it's in the Ten Commandments.
That I keep hearing people say, oh, well, why does nobody think about the socioeconomic and political ramifications and things that are going on that are making people do this and blah, 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 fuck de blah. It doesn't fucking matter. Like Matt said pre-podcast, how often do you see Buddhists going out and committing terrorist attacks?
The Tibetan Buddhists that have been occupied by the Chinese and terrorized for
suffering
decades.
Under horrible socioeconomic,
jailed and tortured and
all
that, and they come out and their only hope is that they can view their captors with a sense of compassion. Because that's what their theology teaches. Where do you find a Muslim who's been in an Israeli prison for 10 years coming out of there saying, I only hope I can have compassion for my captors in Israel? No.
Oh, that happens all the time.
Never. Never do they. They are all ready to kill those guys before they're even going to prison in Israel.
Not just their captors, but their captors' families and their children.
And their entire religion.
Yeah.
And the entire Western world. So it's not a matter of bigotry or it is theology, plain and simple.
Oh yeah,
go ahead, Ryan.
I was saying it is.
That was meant to be a preface, but
it's 100% theological. Or their theology is the only reason why they are doing these attacks. They went in there to kill 12 people because the guy was writing cartoons depicting Muhammad.
Sure, and
the same reason why they had death threats against South Park. Same reason why they had death threats against Family Guy or any other mainstream media outlet who has ever had a depiction of Muhammad on their network.
Yep. And if somehow you think we're wrong, go ahead and email us personally at GodlessRebelution@gmail.com and let us know why you think we're wrong about that. But
or you can comment on our Facebook page.
or Facebook.
That's just facebook.com/GodlessRebelution. Let us know if you think that we're wrong and why we're wrong. I would love to know.
Yeah,
a valid argument against.
I don't want to believe something that's incorrect.
I want to hear any argument. Yeah.
I don't want to believe something that's incorrect. So if I'm wrong, please correct me. But I have yet to see any valid argument that says that it's not because of religion that this shit goes on.
Not even Islam specifically, not just religion, but Islam.
Right.
Well, there was the case, 4 years ago, it might have been maybe 4 or 5 years ago now, where there was a Halloween parade going on, and the guy was dressed up as, he's an atheist, dressed up as Jesus Muhammad in the parade, walking on the street. And there was a Muslim guy that was there that had, he's from Middle East, he was new to the country, and he jumped in the street and started beating the living shit out of this guy. Cause he's
started choking him,
Like he was depicting Muhammad. That's against the law, right? That's illegal.
Yep. There's all kinds of stuff I know about that are kind of inside baseball or maybe behind the scenes stuff that not everybody knows. The guy the guy who was dressed as Muhammad, his name is Ernest Peirce, and he was a regional director or state director for American Atheists for a while. And the dude went off the fucking deep end, lost his goddamn mind. Like he dressed as Muhammad, went through court, did all this other stuff, and then I don't know what led to it, but he lost his fucking mind. He started posting all kinds of anti-Semitic shit all over his Facebook, and I mean, just he was a Holocaust denier all of a sudden.
Whoa.
And,
Nice.
like he went fucking nuts.
That's one of those things you can't deny.
So he went through all of that, and then he decided to come out and say he is no longer an atheist. He is a born-again Christian, and is now touring,
I think
doing born-again preacher Christian bullshit. He's fucking nuts.
Is he the guy that some apologists use in their arguments once in a while when they talk about born-again
Probably.
atheists becoming born-again Christians?
Yeah.
Well, that's a great example.
I'd be like, yeah, if you want, sure, it happens every now and then that someone was an atheist and then says that, then they convert to Christianity. Let's look at the examples of people who do that.
But I think I've heard apologists say like, oh, this, blah, 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 mainstream atheist, fought for atheism for the longest time. Look, he says God's real.
He says God's real now. He recognized it. He learned the error of his ways. Sure, let's look at his entire history, shall we? Tell me that you want this guy representing you in any fucking way at all.
Well, I mean, do you want? We won't get into the. Do you want Ray Comfort leading? I mean, but I think the overall point though is the cultural, the cultural
differences. Definitely
impulse, right? For a newly Americanized Arab Muslim to
not realize
act
that
violently against somebody who offends their beliefs, the things they've taken on themselves, right, as sacred, and have no regard for anybody else who thinks differently or feels differently or views anything different, right? This is what we're talking about, the large scale problem with Islam right now in the world, which has absolutely they have absolutely nothing.
That's your phone.
No sense of.
It's not plugged in. I think mine didn't ring.
Whoa!
But they have absolutely no sense of anything that's different to what they're thinking in that glorified sandbox they live in.
Well, I would say it's not just a problem with Islam; it's a problem with all religion. If you have a religion that teaches someone, then they go somewhere else where what they were taught the whole time is different. They're like, "Oh, fuck, you can't do that. I got to do this to you because you just did that." And like, no, it's fucking perfectly fine in this country.
This is why I said right now with Islam. I mean, this is the same thing that people were dealing with Christianity 500 years ago. So it's the same problem.
Yeah,
religion in general, but right now, and what we're talking about with Paris, it's Islam.
Well, yeah, and like I said, I got in several, contentious or heated discussions with fellow atheists who were trying to defend Islam as not being the source of this. It's not really religion. It's not necessarily religion that is the cause of this. You have to look at the other factors underlying all of this. Okay, sure. Show me another fucking religion that has all of these factors that has, show me any other religion where you can point to socioeconomic difficulties or political difficulties, and the people adhering to that religion are out committing terrorist attacks in the name of their religion. Not just because they have whatever socioeconomic or other political struggles, but specifically in the name of their religion are going out and doing these things.
Yeah.
Tell me one.
Yeah, let's talk about the Jains for a second, right? Who occupy the northwest central area of India and are considered a minority, even at some 10 million members. And the very core of their belief is pacifism.
Yeah, to do no harm to anything.
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 Not even insects.
They sweep their homes to try to make sure that they don't harm any insects. Even
right. They drink. The most extreme ones drink through a cheesecloth to prevent any insects or anything from entering their mouths and being consumed and all that kind of stuff. Right.
Yeah.
Nobody even knows what a Jain is for the most part in the Western world
because they don't kill people.
Even though there's 10 million. Yeah,
because they don't kill people.
Yes, exactly. Right. So
they never had a crusade.
And so right, and so like Sam Harris says, right, the more extreme you become as a Jain, the more you adhere to the beliefs, the more and more peaceful you become. Right, and so he says the problem with Islam is not fundamentalists. It's the fundamentals of Islam.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
where if the more extreme you become in your beliefs and teachings of the Islamic faith, the more fucking scary you get.
Intolerant, violent, all that stuff. Yep.
What are the two biggest religions in the world?
Well, Islam's number one.
Yeah.
And it's the fastest growing, which is a little terrifying.
Yeah.
Christianity has got to be close behind
Is
in
number
second.
two.
It's
Yeah.
number two.
The two religions that had the Crusades fighting
Yeah.
each other for the longest time, then killing all the other people that weren't part of their religion or taking them into their religion. Like, hey, you're going to come help us fight the Muslims.
Yeah. Yeah. Was it Hitchens who was debating fucking Turek?
Yeah.
And
That one frustrated me.
And they asked Turek, so would you say that it is the Spirit of the Lord or God's word that leads more people to whatever religion they happen to be, or that led to the spread of this religion and Christianity, or was it
The sword.
The sword? And Turek said, "Oh, obviously God's word." And the other person, I think it was Hitchens, was just like, "Oh, I rest my case. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about."
Yeah, exactly. Right. Obviously, you know nothing about the Crusades or the Inquisition.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't God's word that was spreading this. And if it was God's word that was spreading it and Christianity is correct, Islam wouldn't be growing faster than Christianity.
Right, of course.
Which it is.
It is, yeah. Well, and a lot of people don't really even realize that the Inquisition was based pretty heavily on the words of now Saint Thomas Aquinas.
Yeah.
Right? Piece of shit motherfucker that guy was too, by the way. And if you want to email me about that, do it. Because I hate that guy.
Well, I was watching a video yesterday that
And by the way,
How many Thomas Aquinas defenders are there out there?
no, nobody that's listening to this. But I'm just saying, if you want to email us about him, be prepared to defend his flying up and floating around the nave of Notre Dame. Right? If you don't think that he could fly, right? Then why do you believe anything? So be prepared for that argument.
I've seen shows. There's flying nuns and everything.
You guys ever watch that?
Field? No one. You guys are too young.
Totally
Wizard of
lost
Oz?
me.
I'm old. Never mind.
What? No. I feel bad for leaving you hanging. But I would have felt
flying
worse for
nun
giving you
and-
something.
No.
What the fuck is a flying nun?
Nobody.
Is that when they had the car and they did the singing
Television
and like 2 cups of
show
sugar?
with Sally Fields where she had this one of the giant fucking weird nun hats with the big
Like Saturday Night Live?
Oh god damn it! I'm old. Never mind.
All right, let's move
Forget
on.
I said anything.
I'll have to.
I'll look up a picture and show you guys.
Yeah, we'll bing it later.
I prefer the Googles.
Does anyone have Netscape? That's probably on there.
I'm sure I can find it on AOL.
You've got nuns.
Soon to be Internet Explorer.
You've got mail. I had so many of those fucking AOL discs for however long. I thought
The
about
Messenger.
like wallpapering a wall with them.
So any of you guys ever listened to or seen that Armored Skeptic on YouTube at all?
Nope.
Armored Skeptic.
I've never really watched any before, but Richard Dawkins put up a little thing about one of his stuff, and I kind of watched it. It was an hour-long one. But near the end of it, the guy, he's one of those guys someone will make videos, like apologetic videos, and he'll come in and he has like a cartoon character of this guy like in a suit wearing like an old medieval helmet and armored, skeptic.
Yeah.
But the guy at the end is holding this book. It's like, if you really want to know what this world's going to be like, if there was no religion, if atheists ran everything, this is a good book for you to read. And I'm like, if you want to know what the world would be like if all we had was fucking Christianity, fucking remember the Dark Ages. It already fucking happened. You don't got to write a book about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, one of the arguments that I had with somebody who was saying that, well, you can't really blame Islam for this. And he was mentioning the socioeconomic and political differences that lead people to do this and blah, 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 blah. Fuck, what did you just say, Ryan?
Dark Ages when, if you want to know what it's like when Christians ruled the world or when religion ruled.
Oh, yeah, he made some comment about how, I said, well, you keep mentioning socioeconomic and political differences, and I think those can be easily disregarded when you look at other people who are suffering those same types of situations, who have a particular religious faith, who are not out committing, acts of violence and terrorism. And his comment in reply was, well, then how do you explain why, when those numbers are reversed, that those acts and those beliefs drop off? And I said, well, for the same reason that you can explain why, religion disappears almost entirely when those things are reversed. I mean, that's why, because fucking religion goes away. Those numbers are reversed. You lose your fucking religion because you don't have to depend on some fucking sky wizard to provide for you.
Yeah, and it's actually even simpler than that, because when someone wants to argue with me about the socioeconomic whatever, then you just say, okay, all right, so poor people can't be good. Poor people don't know that murder
Pretty
is
much.
wrong. Poor people don't know.
They're so poor, they're
They
uneducated.
don't have morals. They don't understand this stuff.
Yeah.
Is that your argument?
Or are they saying
of course it's not your argument.
Or they're saying it's right for poor people to kill because it's socio.
Either way, they're fucking stuck.
Yeah.
Right? They've painted themselves into a corner, and when you narrow it down and you say, okay, so poor people have no idea what morals are. Right? They need to be taught somehow not to kill, and if they miss out on that in college or wherever that's supposedly taught, then they're going to go out and do it, and there's nothing you can say about it because, well, sorry, socioeconomical argument.
Not killing because of your religious beliefs 101.
No, too bad. No, fuck you. Get out of my face. You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Look, here's the problem. You're too big of a pussy to admit that it's a religious problem. That's the problem. And they're doing everything they can to skirt around that issue.
Well, I don't understand why I seem to have these arguments with atheists more than I do with fucking religious people.
I know exactly why, dude. The thing is, and I don't necessarily fault them, but I mean, there tends to be this hyper liberalism in atheism.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
Where it's like they're trying to hopefully figure out that there's some way to solve the problem that's feasible, right? Without resorting to violence or anything. I'm not saying that's the only option, but I'm just saying they're desperate to figure out some sort of an answer, right? And when you want to bring in socioeconomy, there is an answer for that, right? And the United States could solve it all on their own.
Oh yeah,
we could, but the people that are in power won't fucking do it. But so that provides a way of saying, well, we don't need to resort to violence, but it's still not my fault because our leaders aren't doing what they should, and that allows them to stay in this weird sort of liberal soup, where they can be flexible and not put the blame on anybody, really. And I think that's the problem. They don't want to take a stance really too hard line.
well, yeah, and that was a couple of the other arguments I heard was that, besides the socioeconomic and political things, well, and kind of tied to the political problems, was being in a religious theocracy, right? So you have a supreme leader who's telling you what to do based on, and they're using their religion as a justification, which in turn the people do because their leader is telling them whatever.
Right.
But that's a bullshit argument too. I keep losing my chain of thought. Anyway, that was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Ryan's like, yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty fucky.
I had some grand point I was working up to, and I fucking lost it. God damn it!
I thought you were going to work morality into it for a second, saying how morality. Well, I was thinking in my head about tying it in, saying, morality being a social construct that, they decided to join a society and not morally join that society.
No,
A little bit.
Well,
I mean, I was trying to, that may not be the best way to say it, kind of saying, because I was going back in my head going with the objective or subjective moral argument in my head. And I'm like, well.
I was going to get right back into that because I was going to say I think they do join the morality of their society.
Of their society, but when they join another region of this world that has a different standard in their society for how you act, they decided, well, fuck that. We aren't going to be a part of this society. We're going to still act upon our societal norms, and if you depict Muhammad, we're going to fucking kill your ass.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And they think it's completely morally justified.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I think the other point that I was going to make was talking about religious moderates. And the people saying, well, religious moderates are a force for good because they help bring the fundamentalists and the dogmatists back to reality, or help them ease into more moral, liberal society, whatever. I guess you can try to make that argument, but I think where that argument fails is twofold, because if you have religious moderates, that means that you have somebody holding the door open for fundamentalists to kick it wide open.
Yep.
Right. You still have those beliefs out there that somebody could twist and interpret and use to whatever personal advantage and gain that they want. That's my biggest problem with religious moderates. The second problem that you have with moderates is that, especially as far as Islamic or Muslim moderates go, they are not fucking vocal enough, because even they are fucking terrified of the fundamentalists, extremists, radicalists, whatever the fuck you want to call them. They're fucking terrified of them. And it's not going to change until they do start speaking out about it. And yeah, we do need the moderates to do that. We need everybody of all stripes to try to change this kind of shit. So yeah, we do need the moderates. I think that if you're a moderate, you're not following the fundamentals of your religion, so you're not really following your religion, so you're not really all that religious, and you should just fucking drop it anyway. But it would be great if they were more vocal. I was really fucking... I was not just disappointed, but kind of pissed off, frankly, that I saw that the Salt Lake Tribune published a story about what happened in Paris today, and you know, they were fine showing photos of people on stretchers and fucking, you know, blood pools and people who were shot and, you know, this chaos, blown up trains, whatever the fuck. They were fine showing photos of all of that. They didn't run a single fucking picture of a goddamned cartoon that sparked all of it. They were too fucking afraid to run a picture of a fucking cartoon. But they're showing the after effects of these other assholes who were responding to a fucking cartoon. We're talking about a cartoon.
Yeah. Let me just expand on your first point about moderates here too, about leaving the door open, right? This is exactly what we were just talking about those atheists that you converse with that are trying to find any other reason for why these people behave this way, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's socioeconomical. Right? Well, thank you for leaving the door open for these fucking assholes to kill 12 people in Paris.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
No, fuck you. Take a stand and get off your fucking horse.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
It's the post hoc explanations and justifications that really bother me. And I find that I run into it most with fucking atheists.
Yeah.
You know, I don't run into it as much with religious people as I do with atheists. And maybe it's just because religious people don't really converse with me very much anymore.
Let's put a pin in this Paris thing and
there
move
we go.
on, shall we?
Me, Ryan Duffy, on the Godless Rebelution, just drew my little picture of Muhammad. I just depicted Muhammad, and I'm gonna write. I'm gonna go ahead.
Fucking sword.
You'll notice we don't have a camera in here.
It's not a good drawing.
I don't know. He could have looked like that.
He's got a beard, but
Megan's got a camera.
We got no problem in saying fuck Muhammad.
Yeah. Hey, all you got to do is like Jeff Goldblum on a 3-day meth bender. There you go. That's
probably talking really fast.
Oh, did you guys see any of the previews for the new Jurassic Park movie?
Yes, I thought it was like a Funny or Die spoof at first.
Theory and I was surprised that they were making another one. Like, what else can they build upon here? What else?
Because Funny or Die makes spoof things of like new movie coming out of based on another movie.
Yeah,
they do a really good job with the graphics and have real actors. And I was like, oh shit, this is real. This isn't a joke. They're actually making another fucking Jurassic Park.
This is real dinosaurs.
Yeah,
and that was when it was just a quick 15-second teaser one. So that's why I thought, oh, it's a.
Yeah, I saw it. I'm trying to think of which movie. I think it might have been before Lord of the Rings, the latest Lord of the Rings movie.
Okay.
Or the latest Hobbit movie.
Yeah.
That they had a preview for it. And it initially came on, and I was like, you know, sometimes you'll go to the movie and they'll show you trailers or a preview of like old movies that they're bringing back to the theater for a limited showing or whatever. And I thought, oh, cool. They're, you know, re-releasing Jurassic Park, or they're going to have like a Jurassic Park-a-thon or whatever. And I was like, oh shit, no, this is a whole new Jurassic Park movie. Like,
what's with the bubble car?
Like the 3 strikes rule apparently doesn't apply to creating dinosaurs that fucking eat people. You can just continue doing that as long as you want, as long as you think that this time it's going to be okay.
There's going to be Rambo 5 coming out?
Is it? No, it would have to be Rambo 6.
Is it 6? Because you had First Blood, you had the one in Afghanistan. You had the one where he goes back to Vietnam to get the prisoners out. Then you had the last one that he did when he was like 60. Now he's going to be like 68 playing Rambo, where he says, I want to leave Rambo off on a good note.
I'm pretty sure the last one was Rambo 5. Where there's the meme of him on the boat giving the thumbs up.
Yeah. We got a Google's going. Are we Googling it? Yeah. We got the Googles. I think it's. I'm betting on.
I should give you the wireless password.
I'm betting on the 5s. I think it's 5 because like everyone forgot about you did one in Afghanistan. That one sucked.
First Blood was great.
I liked
Blood
that
was
one.
Awesome. I actually think the last one was
pretty
good
decent,
too. Yeah,
because he said I remember him saying with that one what he wanted to do like he did with Who's right? What is it?
Rambo 6 is the one that's coming out.
Which one am I missing in there? Which one? Okay, I'm trying to think of the ones.
Well, we can do like an IMDb.
There must have been a Rambo in there that was so shitty no one remembers it.
All of them.
I think probably at least 3 and 4 were shitty enough that you can forget them.
Because the Afghanistan one, he kicks around the dead goat and he plays that game with them, becomes friends, and they all die. And then the Vietnam one where he goes back to Vietnam to get the prisoners out, he falls in love with that chick and she fucking dies.
Yeah. Well, so there's First Blood.
Yeah.
There's First Blood Part 2, where he's released from prison by the government.
Yeah, where he's breaking rocks at the beginning of it, say, hey, we got a mission for you.
And then there's Rambo Last Blood. Fuck, let me...
Last Blood's going to be the newest one, I think.
No.
After this short break, we'll be back with Godless Rebelution loves shitty 80 movies.
Hey, First Blood was good. Man. That was a good flick.
Oh, come on.
I remember, when he jumps off the cliff and falls through the trees and cuts his arm open.
Then
I don't know it
I have
for a
that
fact,
knife.
but I have heard, and I should fucking look this up.
Yeah.
Because I've repeated it several times and I've never fact checked it, but I've heard that he actually cut his arm open doing that,
Yeah, I
and
heard
then
that
he
too, yeah.
actually stitched himself
I don't know
up
if
on camera.
You'll be
heard
the first
that was
one
an
on the show to
actual-
talk out of your ass.
No,
I said I could be
know.
wrong. I may be talking
That's
out of
much
my ass.
better than I've done.
I can confirm that I have heard the same story on IMDb where it gives you all the info on it, where it says he did actually slice his arm open. But you're the first one I've ever heard to say he stitched it up himself on screen.
Was he brave enough to shoot his own steroids too?
Yeah.
All right, let's finish this Paris story.
I think we're done with the Paris story. I think.
You want to be done with it? Okay.
Yeah, or else we'll be.
Or let's wrap it up as it's situation fucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that one of the shooters, Sharif Kouachi, was convicted on terrorism charges in 2008 for helping to send fighters to Iraq's insurgency and was sentenced to 18 months, which I thought was insane.
Does it say which country he was sentenced
In France.
In France, okay.
18 months.
18 months.
And he wasn't deported.
He's a national.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I thought 18 months and
The wrist slap heard round the world.
and it made me think of Gitmo and all that stuff, and I'm like, holy fuck, wonder why they're doing this in Britain and France and Denmark and all this, because but it's tough because I don't necessarily agree with the policies the United States has in place either. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So it makes it really weird. But 18 months.
Wow, I hadn't heard that.
Yeah. Obviously they're Yemeni. These guys are Yemeni terrorist network. 3 of them. It's the deadliest attack, at least a deadliest terrorist attack in decades in Paris. Appeared highly planned to coincide with the staff meeting. Known for Charlie Hebdo. Known for provocative content on Islam, and left its well-known editor Stephanie Charbonnier and other staff members among the dead. So yeah, it's just almost the same case as the Danish cartoon, except this one actually was carried out.
Yeah.
And the whole motivation was satirizing Islam or Muhammad in cartoons, which again.
Is not a crime.
Fucking ridiculous.
Well,
and it's not a crime in France, and that's the big thing, right?
Yeah.
So where is it a crime?
It's only a crime in Islamic
Islam.
culture.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep. End of story. It's a crime in Islam.
Well,
and
and
they think that they can institute their law anywhere they go.
And what do all of these terrorist attacks have in common that have happened recently?
Religion.
Is it the country that they come from?
Nope.
No. Is it the age of the people?
No.
No. I mean, they vary in age. They fall within a range. But
These 3 were 32, 30, and 18.
It's a difference in religious views.
Is it whether they...
Well, not amongst the perpetrators. It's not.
No, but the people that are attacking.
Is it because they play violent video games? Is it because they watch television? Watch violent TV shows or movies? No. The
problem is that they have a thing against eating pigs.
The common thread running through fucking all of them is that they were fucking Muslim.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the fucking bottom line.
I don't trust anyone who turns down bacon.
Yeah.
Goddamn vegetarians, terrorists.
No, okay, fair enough. But I mean,
If you won't eat bacon, drink a beer, and watch porn, you aren't my fucking friend.
right?
I'm sorry, we can't be friends.
Like
What are we going to do on the weekends?
I know.
Yeah, right.
That's my favorite thing is to eat bacon naked. Watch.
Sit around naked,
Drink a
eating
beer
bacon and drinking beer.
I could have went way on a horrible tangent with bacon grease and porn, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, that would just be. It would be awkward. What are you watching Bob Ross on PBS and you're like, dude, you smell like hummus. You smell like pigs. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Oh,
There's no common ground.
did you ever see Kinnison's little stand up before he died talking about the painter dude? What Bob
Ross.
Bob Ross talking about Bob Ross? And he's like,
Bob Ross.
you ever
Happy
watch that guy
trees.
paint? Yeah, when he's like, I just want to see him and be like, yeah, happy little bush, happy little tree, sun, happy little bush, another little bush, and fucking VC's behind the fucking bush.
Nice. Oh yeah, he was Air Force 20 years. Nice.
Yeah, he goes up on this wild tangent about Bob Ross having like this Vietnam flashback.
I love that Picasso versus Bob Ross epic rap battle though. That's hilarious.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Is that a new
Really?
one?
It's newish, but it's good.
Oh, I haven't seen it in a few weeks.
I like the epic
I do it
rap
mellow,
battles.
listen, cadmium yellow. It's pretty good.
Never dance again, Matt.
I like the little lean to the side.
Yeah. Well, when you see it,
Yeah, we don't. There's reasons why we don't have cameras in here.
we've had cameras in here before.
Well, once, but it was just, I kind of like it's just hard to get a good camera angle in here
Yeah,
since we like look at each other. Or you guys just look at me.
need a walleye,
Yeah.
a fisheye.
Well, I got my GoPro, but it doesn't record for 2 hours.
Will it record straight to something like?
Actually, I might be able to hook that right to my computer as well and have my computer power that because it's the battery life that doesn't last 2 hours.
Yeah.
It can record 2 hours onto an SD card, and that actually might get a good wide angle lens
Yeah.
from like the table or right on the wall.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'd be like a spy cam looking at us in the room.
I'm not wide enough. Put me on fucking wide angle.
Maybe we'll try that out next week. I'll bring the GoPro over and we'll hook it up and see how that turns out.
Nice. Okay. So moving on from Paris being fucky today.
I got some other news stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Do we want to hit our topic, or I don't know how far we are into the show?
Well, we're about 50 minutes in, so
All right, we'll hit another news.
What else you got?
This one I think is kind of funny and super credible because I got it from a Christian religion news site.
The Blaze?
No,
Are you going to talk about what I think you might be talking about in the Christian news world?
probably not.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. What do you think I'm going to talk about?
From imprisonment to beheadings, more Christians worldwide live in fear for their lives than at any other time in the modern era.
Nope, not what I thought.
That's the message from Open Doors USA, which released its annual worldwide watch list on Wednesday, January 7th.
How many Christians in Christian countries have been beheaded recently
Well,
for being Christian?
they
In
say,
Christian countries or
yeah, this is worldwide, so it's a little
The
different.
only country where I can think of that Christians have been getting killed is over in Iraq, and that's
Saudi.
by the. Was there a Saudi guy that got beheaded? There was a guy that got beheaded in Saudi recently, but I didn't think he was Christian. Because that's how they do. Like that's their form of lethal injection. They behead and hang.
I'm sure
Still,
it happens.
I'm gonna go back to the Muslim thing for just
And that's what it was. It was ISIS.
quick second here.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be along
Yeah,
those
ISIS
lines,
and the
so you'll
Yazidis.
be on track.
I want to talk about this myth of the radical or extremist or fundamentalist or however the fuck you want to refer to them Muslim community as being this tiny minority within the Muslim community, and that's not the fucking case at all, man. There's a website that I will add when we post this that has links to I think it was 136 different polls of the Muslim community on various topics ranging from whether people should be prosecuted for creating depictions of the Prophet Muhammad, or if they should be murdered for such things, or what should happen to infidels if they leave the religion. A bunch of different questions, and there's a video that I'll post out there, and then there's a link to all of these different polls, and in all of these polls, depending on the country where they were asking the question, the numbers are fucking huge for the Muslim population. Do you think that infidels or people who leave the religion should be murdered?
Yes.
Well, less than half of the Muslims responded yes.
Right.
Yeah, but when there's 100 million of them,
No, there's no. Sorry, there's 2 billion.
Yeah, whatever.
When there's
it's a big
2
number.
billion,
So that's 1 billion people in the world. That's a seventh of the world's population that thinks yes, they should die for that.
and
right.
And it's not, it's not 50% overall. It was, depending on the country you were in and how the question was phrased, it ranged from 27%
In London
to 80%
In Riyadh.
And people have it's that fucking stupid, it's the not all Christians, not all Muslims, not all whatever believe whatever way. Sure, not all Muslims believe that way, but it's a fucking huge number of them that do. It's not this tiny number.
No.
Whatever you've heard, if you think it's a tiny fucking number or it's this small itty bitty minority of Muslims who feel this way or think this way, you're fucking wrong.
Yeah, it's not a radical fringe.
It's probably a small number who would actually do it, but the number of people who agree with it, support it, and think it's a good idea is fucking huge.
Which is a big reason why, if I was to have any heroes in this world, which I don't necessarily, but atop of the list would be Ayaan Hirsi Ali and
She's awesome.
Malala Yousafzai.
Also awesome.
Yeah, and because they're women especially, because that's a whole nother added element that we haven't even talked about really about Islam.
Yeah.
It's not just apostates, but the subordination of women.
Yeah.
I mean, complete subordination. Right? And these are 2 women who have dared to speak out on a global, one from Somalia, one from Pakistan.
Yeah. Subordination and subjugation of women.
And subjugation. Yeah, completely. Right? And Malala was actually shot for that.
In
right?
the
In the
face.
fucking face.
Yep.
Survived.
Well, in the back of the head, but
As
in
a
the back of
child.
the face.
As a child.
got flown to Europe, saved her life, and then she's now this very
How dare you go to school?
eloquently
Yep, exactly.
outspoken.
Well, and she wrote a. I'll tell you what, man.
And
She
Nobel
wrote
Peace
a book.
Prize.
And she fucking deserved it.
Oh, yeah.
And I
Yeah,
saw
yeah.
I saw this fucking asshole on Fox News where somebody was trying. They were doing a
Fox
recap.
News
I know,
asshole?
I
Say no
know,
more.
I know. But they were doing a recap of the year, and somebody brought up Malala for the Peace Prize and saying, well, this and this, and talking about how she deserved it and everything. I was like, yeah, okay, fair enough, good for you, Fox. And then the next guy was like, well, I'd have to nominate whatever the fuck his name is.
Ted Cruz.
No,
Cheney.
whoever took over for Steve Jobs. Whatever the fuck that guy's name is. Whatever.
no one
I'm
even
just
knows
like,
it.
And I'm like, are you fucking
Apple guy.
Are you kidding me that this fucking
That guy
this-
deserves the Nobel
this
Peace
billionaire CEO who stepped into a position that was already set for him is on the same level as Malala Yousafzai? You got to be kidding me. Not even close.
Well, he does provide jobs for tens of thousands of people.
Anyway,
Maybe.
yeah. Well, in China where they have to put up nets because
Foxconn.
people throw themselves off the buildings so often. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, perfect.
Where their
Peaceful.
employees are imprisoned.
Yeah, basically they sleep
China?
they
Yeah.
sleep in the morgue. Anywho,
Yeah.
Well, going on with the beheading thing, the only thing I could think of where mass amounts of Christians were beheaded were the Yazidis in Iraq that were beheaded by ISIS.
yeah, but beheaded by people of another religion.
Yes.
right.
For not conforming to their religion.
Yeah.
Well, so here's what they say: Christian person.
And yet, have we heard of the Yazidis going out and committing terrorist attacks anywhere?
No, because nobody knows what.
I mean, they're obviously suffering under dire socioeconomic and theocratic rule.
Well, they were stuck on a mountaintop.
Why are they not out? Why are they not out bombing places?
What about the Kurds?
Yeah. Why are the Kurds not doing it? Why are the Buddhists not doing it? Why? I mean,
Yeah, I know. The trend is overwhelming. The numbers are overwhelming, which is why I say, like you were saying that the moderates, right, that leave that door open.
yeah,
There are moderate atheists too, and I think probably a majority,
yeah,
and that's exactly what they're doing.
yeah.
So anyway, according to this, the Open Doors USA or whatever this Christian site is, that Christian persecution reached historic levels in 2014, with approximately 100 million Christians around the world facing possible dire consequences, whatever that means, for merely practicing their religion, according to the report. I don't know what report that is.
100 million facing dire consequences?
Let's list the numbers of atheists who've been fired for coming out as atheists, or the amount of homosexuals who have been beaten in the streets just for being homosexual.
Or fucking killed.
Yeah,
or killed.
Or how many atheists and other religions have burned for 1,500 years in Europe.
Yeah.
And who are the ones mostly doing those
What about
beatings
Galileo?
and killings and firings? Fucking Christians.
No, it was the atheists. Come on.
What about Galileo and
Yeah.
Copernicus?
And
Giordano Bruno.
Bruno.
if you are a theist, listen to this. Galileo was not religious. He was being fucking tortured.
Yeah, well, Michelangelo wasn't either. But
No,
he's- but he
actually,
still
there
worked
was
for the
there
church,
was
but-
there was a thing I'd read one time where they say Michelangelo might have been homosexual,
yeah, maybe.
and the church knew about it. But since he did all the nice work for him and all his art was good, they're kind of like, we looked the other way that you are hanging out with men at night.
I watched a thing or read something on that. I think I watched a thing. I watched a thing that had that talked about some of the subversive messages within Michelangelo's paintings. I'll have to see if I can dig that up because it was very interesting.
The very masculine men in all of them.
There was some homoerotic stuff. There was some stuff that was very anti-religious. I'll have to be sure to look that up. I should make notes of these things that I say
so
I'm
we
going to
actually post
post.
them.
Yeah.
So this goes on to say that if the current trends persist, many believe that 2015 could be even worse.
Didn't they say that last year?
Yeah. Well, this is the martyr complex
Yeah.
of Christians. Although I'm a little hesitant because this is such a vague article that there probably is some truth to this worldwide. But let's not pretend this is U.S. stuff. I mean,
I don't even think there's any truth to it worldwide. Even percentages.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, you brought up Saudi Arabia. I don't think it's a big problem with Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia does not have freedom of religion, but they are not killing people for being Christian. You have the right to be Christian. They have in Saudi Arabia
within certain boundaries.
But in Saudi Arabia, they have strip clubs, they have bars, they have all that kind of stuff. If you are Saudi, you are not allowed to frequent that. Or if you are Muslim, you are not allowed to frequent that. If you are not Muslim, you can go to all the fuck you want because we don't give a fuck because you're not Muslim.
Yeah, but this says facing possible dire consequences and.
What are
So,
I'm
I don't-
wondering
I
what
don't
those
know
dire
what that really
consequences
means.
are.
I just think
They have to say happy holidays.
right.
I want to say Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Come on. I just want to do it. Come on.
I just thought this whole article was so
They're not allowed to put the 10 Commandments up everywhere in schools,
Right.
on courthouse steps.
Persecution.
Yep. Yeah. I only brought this article up not because it's credible or that it's cited well or it's even written well, but that it's so hyperbolic that it epitomizes the Christian viewpoint that we see at this, this victimization, this
The persecution
martyrdom.
complex.
Exactly. Right.
They're
Everyone-
crying wolf.
Yeah, well, not even that. I mean, every single member of the Christian church wants to be put on a cross. Figuratively.
I can suffer and die just like Jesus. I got to stand up for what I believe.
If you
right.
go to,
Which to me
if you
is
go to Mexico, they actually do it at Easter.
yeah, in the Philippines too.
Oh, yeah, there's that one dude
Yeah,
that does
that's
it every
fucking
year where he
crazy shit.
literally has the
does
nails driven through his
Yeah.
hands and feet. I'm like, you fucking... I don't even want to know what you do in your free time.
I love that he does that because that
He has
proves
dedication to
that
his
there's no
religion.
sacrifice in what Jesus did.
Well, there is no sacrifice
Because
he came fucking
there's a
back.
human being. There's a human being that does that annually.
Yeah.
Jesus did it one time. Where's the sacrifice?
But
And
he
knew
died.
what was going
we
to
all
happen.
do. We all die.
Yeah.
So what? You get to die and be vice god of the universe forever.
Oh,
what about us?
fucking
No,
A,
fuck
right.
you.
Yeah.
You're not no sacrifice whatsoever. So
no.
get rid of all that
It's-
shit.
There's really no sacrifice, especially considering
None.
he came the fuck back
Right. Right.
Vice God
to
of the
rule
universe.
a
I still love
fucking...
it,
Yeah, vice god of the yeah. No, fuck. Anyway, but that's a whole nother show. We haven't even got to our topic. We probably won't today.
For an hour in, it's like...
Which
Well,
is good.
there-
Which is good. It'll give me more time to rework
There was
it.
some kind of important news today.
But yeah, we've had a few weeks off. I'm just just to catch you up, we talked about the mistakes of Jesus last time and barely made it past his birth.
Yeah.
I put together what I thought was going to be the next episode for tonight, which was hell. And I made it through maybe, I don't know, somewhere between 25 and 33%.
I love talking about hell.
I know, and we probably will have to actually save it. I wouldn't mind having another week to actually work it out a little better because I condensed it so much that it doesn't flow really well. So,
should we talk about hell next week? I want to talk about hell.
Let's talk about hell. Let's do hell next week.
Okay.
We're talking about motherfucking hell next week.
Yeah.
I love talking about hell. That's one of my favorites.
I like it too. That's why I'm saying I had a hard time putting it in even into fourths, and even at 25%, it just doesn't feel like we're really covering it. I mean, this could be a 10-part segment just on hell. I think probably
that'd be many parts.
Yep, that's many parts. So anyway, in regions where Christians are being persecuted as central targets, according to this article, the trends and issues we track are expanding, said David Curry, president of Open Doors, a nonprofit that aids persecuted Christians in the most oppressive countries and ranks nations based on the severity of persecution.
I hear the phrase persecuted Christians,
I know,
and it makes me giggle.
And oppressive countries.
I'm sure it's because I live here in the United States. If I were a Yazidi Christian, I'd probably feel differently. But
or a Coptic, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, because with the Yazidis, there's literally like 1,000 of them, maybe.
Yeah.
I think it might even been less. I might be overreaching on the numbers that were there. I know a lot of them got killed, and then we went in and gave humanitarian aid to them on top of that mountaintop. They went in and rescued a whole bunch of them and brought them back out. But,
yeah.
Well, Open Doors 2015 World Watch List. Sounds like a Fox News segment. Gotta have the lasers. Pew, pew, pew. World Watch List 2015. Outlines the 50. Outlines the 50 nations where persecution of Christians is most severe. North Korea tops Open Doors list as the worst oppressor of Christians for the 13th consecutive year. But the list is dominated by African and Middle Eastern nations. Wow, shocker.
Did you guys watch the interview yet?
No. I did.
I thought it was funny. It had its moments.
It's what I expected.
Yeah, it is exactly what I expected.
Yeah.
Anyway, please continue. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sure that was great.
Christians being persecuted.
You brought up North Korea, and it just made me think.
Yeah. Iraq, which experienced the mass displacement of Christians from its northern region, ranked third. Syria was listed fourth due to the reign of ISIS. Nigeria was 10th, but that was due in part to the more than 1,000 Christians murdered or kidnapped by terrorist groups such as Boko Haram, which is kind of bullshit because Boko Haram fucking hates everybody.
Yeah, they just want money.
And BT Dubs, Muslim.
What?
Yep.
Boko Haram is Muslim, and they hate everybody?
Yeah. Well,
I don't know how that's true.
Here's some other countries for you. Somalia, Afghanistan, Sudan, Iran, Pakistan, Eritrea.
Eritrea?
Yeah.
Atria?
Eritrea.
Urethra?
Urethra. All Muslim, by the way. Every one of them.
It's weird.
Even though some Christian majority nations are experiencing unprecedented levels of discrimination and oppression. Curry said,
why'd you throw a Cheney in there?
Don't Christians like duck hunting?
Oh.
Double.
Nice.
Curry said Muslim extremists are the primary excuse me. Let me start over. Curry said Muslim extremists are the primary drivers of Christian persecution worldwide. Are we shocked by that?
Say that again?
Did I not say that correctly?
No, you did.
Okay,
I'm sure.
Meg's nodding, so I think I got that out correctly.
Yeah.
You guys were doing other things.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, for the listeners, this will be a third time, only the second time correct. Curry, right, who we've already established is the president of Open Doors.
Okay, I thought Curry were talking about the food.
Curry said, no, Curry.
Curry.
David Curry said, Muslim extremists are the primary drivers of Christian persecution worldwide.
Sure. Worldwide, yeah.
Sure.
But here in the United States, we all know it's those goddamn atheists.
Yeah, well.
putting up billboards and telling me I shouldn't say Merry Christmas.
So here's another funny title for you. Todd Nettleton, a spokesman
That's not a title. That's just a name.
No, wait, it's coming. Todd Nettleton, a spokesman for Voice of the Martyrs, a global ministry serving persecuted Christian in oppressed nations.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Agreed with David Curry that Muslim extremism is the main source of Christian oppression.
A guy that runs a fucking organization talking about Christian martyrs agrees with somebody who runs another organization
He's
talking
the
about
spokesman
persecution?
for the Voice of the Martyrs, right? Okay, but here's the thing, right?
I totally agree.
So the Voice of the Martyrs and Open Doors organizations, both Christian, agree that Muslim extremism is the main source of Christian oppression. So get the fuck off of our non-believing asses.
Yeah.
Yeah. Leave me alone.
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
I mean, I haven't fed Christian Do a Lion in at least 2 weeks. So leave me alone.
Right. Wherever there is a growing Islamic radicalism, there is growing persecution of Christians, he said. Even where moderate Islamic states offer peace, and that's rare, they almost never have freedom to practice their faith and are often marked for death. So, again with the moderates, and again with Islam. So get the fuck off the non-belief. Look, even Muslim scholars will say that atheists are better than Christians because we're halfway there.
Yeah.
Right? Because in Islam they say there is no God but Allah, and atheists say, well, there's no God.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because Muslims will say that atheists are better than Christians.
Sure.
But Christians will say that Muslims are better than atheists.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
I've always thought that was kind of strange.
It is kind of strange. It is kind of strange. Yeah. Well, until they want to write an article about their martyr complex, and then it's Islamophobia all over the place.
Well, yeah, but I mean, when you were saying that, I thought, well, they're saying Muslims, but they devote the majority of their time talking about the non-believers
in this country.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
Or,
true.
or does the problem
in the U.S.
subtly lie in the fact that Christians want to go to all these countries and spread Christianity into them? These countries don't really like Christianity being there in the fucking first place.
But Islam does the same goddamn fucking thing.
I've never had an Islamist knock on my door and go, let me talk to you about Muhammad.
Yeah, fair enough.
Are there Islamic missionaries?
I don't think so.
But
there's jihadists.
Yeah, but
How does the religion spread so fast?
Yeah, but fair enough. But they'll come to your country, infiltrate it, lay low, and then kill your fucking political cartoonists.
Yeah. They
fuck them too.
That's how it spreads.
I'd rather
so
have
fast.
a knock on my door.
Yeah.
Well, Islam is to be spread by the sword, just like Jesus said too.
I'd never thought about it.
True.
But I'm honestly curious now. Is there such a thing as Muslim missionaries?
No, I don't. The only ones I really know that go on missionary missions are Christians.
Maybe kids.
They're sending their kids out to do it, just like Christians do.
I don't know how they.
know.
I don't know how they.
You want to get on the mic and talk? You can come. There's an extra mic. We can swing it all the way around right to your face.
We're talking to Matt's sister Megan, who's dropped by to watch us.
She's been our Googler for us. She's been doing the Googlings.
She's been our executive producer this evening.
Yeah, I would say that is here. It's not a surprise I'm talking about my ass, but it seems to me that Islam is a little more similar to Judaism. I know both of you guys hate that I'm saying that.
Well, they're both Abraham.
Not you guys, but I'm
all
saying
the main religions are all
the two
Abrahamic
groups.
religions.
Correct, but Judaism doesn't proselytize,
No,
and I don't think Islam does either. Do they?
no. The only ones that I know that actually proselytize and go out and actually send people out to do it are all different Christian faiths. Because I would say Seventh-day Adventists, they're offshoots of that.
J-Dubs, Mormons.
Yeah, haven't seen any
Mormons.
Buddhist missionaries.
No, you don't see. Buddhists will come and they'll do demonstrations, but you don't see them going out and
Hare
physically
Krishnas
trying.
pass out pamphlets and shit at the fucking airport.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's India.
Yeah.
but my line of thinking on
Yeah,
that though, is
I've never
going
seen
saying,
I've never seen a Hindu missionary, a Muslim missionary, a Jewish missionary.
no.
But the second you send missionaries into a country where they're not wanted, teaching a religion in that country that is not wanted in that fucking country, and they get people going over to that religion, they are now the minority in that country that does not have the freedom of religion.
Yeah.
So you're going to cause a fucking problem. You're going to cause that religion, those people that you want to become your religion and living in that country, to be ridiculed and persecuted.
Well, even countries that do, quote, accept missionaries
Yeah.
right, have had issues, like Russia.
Yeah.
Right? They accept Mormon missionaries, but still, there's been a few, it's like, what the fuck you want, bro?
So I would say the only reason why the main
Don't be pussy.
Yeah, don't be pussy.
don't go to these countries and fucking make them become your. Don't go proselytize there and don't fucking try to convert them to your religion because you're just gonna fucking harm them.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Fuck it.
I think Russia's held their own, but yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, and yeah, exactly. If they really have the perfect, all-loving, omnipotent, all-powerful God on their side, right? And they go in there as missionaries to save souls, and they get kidnapped. What the fuck does that? Why does nobody question the God?
It's a test
For who?
for them. It's God giving them a test.
I cut your throat, man. Right now.
And that's what they're going to say, though. It's like, oh, we're being tested. Our religion, our faith was being tested. It was God giving us.
And what happens when they die? Which happens?
Oh,
what happens when they're killed?
It's that they're martyrs.
Well,
They were sent
great.
to teach us all about.
No matter what the fuck happens, it's going to be right in their fucking eyes.
Yeah, I know.
And that's the problem.
Yeah.
Is they
No, I
can
know. It's
justify it by any fucking means they want.
yeah, it's all post hoc stuff. But
Which is weird because they can send their young LDS missionaries out halfway around the world and consider their mission a success if they convert people, even if they don't convert people. If they just go, they spread the gospel, they're talking about the teachings of Christ as the LDS Church views them to be accurate or whatever.
Make a poor guy give up his money.
They can say that that's successful.
Right.
But then they can also turn around and say, when a missionary is out there and is killed or kidnapped or whatever, that's also successful because Christ has taught us a valuable lesson. So is the lesson that you're going to be successful regardless of what the fuck happens as long as you go out on your mission? Like, you can justify anything after the fact.
Yes.
And they do that all the fucking time.
Well, that's all they have.
And they don't stop to examine why they're doing it or if what they're saying makes any fucking sense at all.
I want to...
And so the not dealing with death stuff, right? That's super grown up and mature, right?
Well, I wanted to bring this one up here because I think the lady was here in Utah that had already had 5 children, was pregnant, and got diagnosed.
That's so fucking irresponsible.
That's what I'm saying. And I hate
and
it when
the
I see everybody
Duggars-
like, oh, look at the faith. Look at, she has so much faith. I'm like, no, you got diagnosed with cancer. You already have 5 kids, a husband, and a family at home. You are told this child has a very small likelihood of surviving this pregnancy because you have fucking cancer. And you have a very small likelihood of surviving if you don't receive chemo. So she fucking says, no, I do not want to receive chemo. I want to keep with this pregnancy. And they both fucking die. Now she fucking leaves father and 5 kids at home to fucking...
Yep, selfish bitch.
Yeah,
and the thing is, even if
that has not faith. That's fucking irresponsible.
Yes, even if she did not have cancer, having 6 fucking kids on this planet is irresponsible and is selfish as fuck.
And don't fucking tell me I have to have at least one.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know what? Fucking adopt. You live in America. Do you know how many kids that are already alive need a decent life? That are already here using resources?
That you won't allow perfectly good homosexual partners to adopt?
Yeah.
And I don't want to publicly out anybody or name anybody.
Yeah,
I don't want to name any names as, for the following story, but I know someone who was pregnant, and during her pregnancy and going to see the OB and getting ultrasounds and everything, found out that the fetus was not viable. There was a defect.
Yeah.
Not a viable fetus. I'm not even talking about like a birth defect or
it's dead.
Or basically carrying around
a dead fetus.
A dead fetus, not a stillborn.
Yeah,
it's got another term for it because stillborn actually has to be born.
Yeah, but anyway, carrying around a fetus that is not going to survive.
Yeah.
Not even is going to have some mental disability or physical disability, but is just
it's not viable.
Going to die.
Yep.
Going to die, is either dead or is going to die sometime during the pregnancy. And the doctors suggested that they terminate the pregnancy.
Well, it's already terminated. It's just let's get it out of there.
Yeah. There's no so
let's remove it.
So this person I know went and spoke to their ecclesiastical leader, who just happened to be a Mormon bishop, with no formal fucking training in anything other than what they do as their regular job.
If that.
Yeah. And
Could be an entry level.
this bishop told them that God had given them this gift and that they needed to accept it and cherish it and carry the fetus to term or for as long as they possibly could.
A dead lump of cells in your body is called, well, it's not called cancer, it's alive.
And so this person that I know ended up carrying this non-viable fetus throughout the pregnancy until she had a stillborn child.
Which then just makes it even more traumatic.
I mean, it was just
of course.
the whole thing just physically and mentally wrecked this person.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And it was because they were told that this was God's plan.
Yep.
God wanted you to do this, so you should do this.
And I want to just say real quick too that of course I blame this bishop for saying that, but he was at least correct in regurgitating the doctrines of the Mormon beliefs.
Yeah.
So he was correct in
correct.
regurgitating bullshit.
Yeah. Well, yes, he was. But what I'm saying is, he
was consistent.
He said the things that are consistent with the doctrines of the church, right? So I'm not giving him a pass. I'm just saying the doctrines of the church are fucking corrupt.
But
They're
he should
that fucking bad.
Oh yeah, but he shouldn't be an ultimate authority on what you really have to do with your body.
No, he should be, because he said exactly what the church would have him say.
But he should not be an
not for
ultimate
not for
authority
humans,
for
no.
people to say, well, my doctor said I need to get this shot that'll save my life. I'm going to go talk to my bishop real quick.
No, he shouldn't
Yeah.
be an authority for humans. No.
But that's what I'm saying. Like
No.
but people use that as the authority.
Yeah,
going,
of course.
Well, the bishop said I should do this, and I'm going to trust him over the guy who has all this medical experience and all this other stuff.
Right. Well, he has
mean-
spiritual experience, so
I'm not entirely certain. I was trying to think of the term for it, where you have something inside of you that's dying in tissue, and you get the necrosis, then you get the infection, and then it kills you from the inside out. I'm trying to think what it's called.
zombieism.
No, it's I can't remember what it's called right now. But I don't know if an actual. Obviously, she didn't die from it because her body got rid of it when it needed to.
Well, like
before it
if
got to that
your
stage,
spleen
but-
ruptures or whatever.
yeah, you get from the inside the bile and
becomes
everything.
necrotic
Yeah, because it kills you from the inside because it's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but what horrible advice. I mean, here's the whole thing, right? This bishop is leaning 100% on, quote, spiritual advice and absolutely nothing else. He's neglecting every other part, all of the real parts of humanity.
The fact that women have hormones that are released in their bodies that while they're
Humans
pregnant that
have
make
hormones.
them act a certain way. And
Humans have that. Humans are connected to this stuff, right?
That's
Like
what-
we don't want trauma to happen.
No, that's what I'm saying,
We
but-
want to avoid it, minimize it, whatever we
But
can
there's
do.
certain
And here's-
hormones-
Here's somebody who's saying by this all this bullshit stuff that he has in this other pocket, right? And he's drawing on that 100% and saying, no, let's drag out all of these other traumatic experiences of things that are actually real and tangible.
But I'm saying
let's do that.
That's what makes it more traumatic in the end. Is
Yes.
the fact that biologically
Fucking
a
asshole.
woman's body releases certain hormones into her.
Yes,
That
yeah,
when
yeah,
she
yeah.
gives birth, it's one thing's expected. When the other thing expected, it's a conflict in the head. The
Even
hormones, everything's
if-
going wrong.
Yep.
If you abort it at a certain stage before your body goes into that mode, it's
Oh my God, and
not
there was- I mean,
as
it's
difficult.
probably even worse because
It
her,
is even- when
her
you-
mind knows what's
Yeah.
coming, but her emotions
That's
are
what I'm saying.
Here's a baby.
That's what I'm saying. When you, 'cause
And
if
it
you
was
carry
a-
it to term like that,
So there's not just
emotionally
there's not
and physically,
just a
it
conflict,
harms your
but there's
body.
a major
Yeah,
confusion
and,
as well.
and it was a whole to do. I mean, like
Oh,
she
yeah,
she
dude.
carried it all the way until she ultimately gave had a stillbirth, and then of course there was the whole fucking funeral and family members attending and everything. And I went to the funeral, and my ex-wife at the time, because the fetus that this person had been carrying was non-viable and had been non-viable for so long, basically the fetus started collecting toxins
Oh yeah.
and producing toxins and swelled and grew and was this grotesque fucking
Nice.
thing
That's what I was thinking earlier.
that she squeezed out of her vagina at the end of however long. I can't even remember if it was a full 9 months or whatever. But then during the funeral, there was an open casket, and
Wow, what the fuck?
You've got to be kidding me.
the
Thing.
fetus that she delivered was so huge and grotesque. I remember my ex-wife and I walked into the funeral parlor, and it was an open casket, and there's a line, and we go through the line, whatever. And as we're walking past the casket, my ex-wife, in all of her stunning brilliance and glory, turns to me and loud as fuck in front of everybody points and says, "That's not a real baby. There's no way that's a real baby. Look how fucking big it is."
Oh, God.
And I was just like, "Oh my God, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you?" And I kind of like grab her by the
Yanked
arm
her.
and try to drag her away. Like, what the fuck is wrong? Yes, that's a real baby. Do you think they're going to put a fucking doll in the casket and have us parade past it? No. That's what was given birth to.
Toxic shock. That's what I was thinking of.
Oh,
when we were
toxic
talking
shock
about that.
syndrome, yeah.
I don't know if you could have that happen to you while carrying a non-viable fetus or not.
Sepsis.
I would imagine
Or
so.
sepsis.
Sepsis, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was just the amount of fucking pain and anguish and bullshit and fucking crazy that was inflicted on this person and the rest of their family because of this one person's religious views was beyond the pale. Like, it just,
Yep.
it was fucking incredible and amazing and batshit fucking crazy.
Yeah.
What's that?
Is she still Mormon?
I recently found out that she is not so
She
much
Catholic
Mormon
now?
anymore. Like very recently, but I mean, this was fucking like 15 years ago, and it's a really recent thing that she's not very LDS.
Wow.
Yeah. The other story that are we still going with that one?
This is a new one.
Oh, I was going to say real quick then.
Yeah.
The other story that I thought you were going to be talking about, which I hate the headlines on it. Mm-hmm. Jesus trial site found.
Oh, I saw that. But that was on the fucking I fucking love science website.
Yeah.
Even
That's why I'm
And I
like,
was like,
no.
really, guys, come on.
First, we got to prove Jesus existed.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to say King Herod's King Herod's palace remains discovered, okay, we know King Herod was a real person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can say, okay, you found his palace. Cool.
Yeah, it was like they just made this sensational headline to get people to read this fucking story.
You cannot say Jesus
It
trial
was a
site found.
click. I was disappointed to see I fucking love science using clickbait headlines.
Yeah. Yeah, that's annoying. That wasn't my story at all, but
I wonder if they accidentally got like hacked or something.
mine was more
I doubt it.
socio-political.
Yeah, what is it?
Were they killing over it? Was there more killing over socio-political
No,
stuff?
it's just give everyone a break, guys.
Come on, you don't understand.
Socio-political.
You don't know what they've gone through.
I mean,
Maybe if you'd gone through the same things, you'd want to take out a Russian Kalashnikov and start gunning down people who had never done anything but draw a fucking cartoon. You don't know.
someone told me stole a Twinkie the other day from me. I was like,
I mean,
fuck
if
you, I'm
you
gonna
had
kill
suffered these huge socioeconomic inequalities and lived under a theocracy, maybe you would want to kill people for drawing a cartoon.
Yeah.
No, I didn't get to sit in first class, so I was like, I'm going to kill all those fuckers in first class.
You would nonchalantly walk down the road, stalking innocent victims, shooting them from afar, and then upon getting to them, upon actually getting close enough to touch the person and realizing they were alive, you'd walk past and nonchalantly shoot them in the head as you decided to get in a car.
Do you know
and
what's
leave.
funny, actually? Now that I think a little bit more about that socio-economical argument, that's the biggest bunch of bullshit ever.
It is the biggest fucking
Dude, no,
bunch
because
of
listen,
bullshit.
you could almost come up with an example from every single country on earth that doesn't do that except for Islamic countries. Like, what about Mexico?
Oh my god! Oh, I was just gonna go there. Fuck, that's awesome.
Yeah, what about
saying?
what about
Oh yeah, it's no different than Mexicans coming to the United States and changing our culture and doing this kind of shit. And I was like,
what?
What?
I love
fuck
burritos.
Are you talking about?
Glad they're here, dude. Plus, what about Northern Ireland?
What about Northern
IRA?
Ireland?
What about the oppression that they've been under? Right?
Oh, well,
They did do a lot of killing.
IRA.
All right. So
and-
okay, fair enough. All right,
They
forget
did.
that.
They
So what
killed
about-
a lot of fucks.
So what about African slaves in the United States, in the southern United States?
If they had been under a theocracy, speaking specifically to those,
They were slaves because of the
African
Bible.
slaves.
So
Yeah, well, yeah, they absolutely were.
yeah. So
But-
okay.
But if there were, well, then that just defeats its own argument. If they were under a religious rule that said, no, you need to rise up and you need to commit these violent acts and whatever, they would have done that. But that's the whole fucking point. right? That
Well, I'm
if they had lived under a theocracy, then yeah, they would have done it because of their religious beliefs, which is the fucking argument I was making anyway.
And I'm fairly sure there were some that did rebel and fight back against slave owners, but it's really not highly publicized.
Yeah, of course, but I don't blame them in the fucking least bit, dude.
Oh, no.
But what I'm saying is, I mean, ultimately, I'm sure some freed slave killed their masters. Fine. I don't give a shit about that. Fine. Do it. You should, right? But there was no worldwide, global, massive effort, right, to kill. There was no slaves killing people over cartoons, or they weren't killing actors over blackface, or anything like. There was none of that, right? The only time this happens is in Islamic countries. Mm-hmm. The only time, and there's plenty of examples of oppression, major oppression, all over the world, all throughout time. Mm-hmm. So that socioeconomic, that just gets sillier and sillier the more I think about it.
You don't even have to look at the American slave trade. Let's look at fucking South Africa and apartheid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Oh, okay. So there again,
which is more recent.
There's a whole nother region again to look at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
What do you got for more news?
And that just proves my point.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think it proves all of our points. So again, please email us, and we'll be sure to get back to you.
If you're defending that side.
Either way, but we'll be polite.
Fuck, polite. We've been polite for too long.
Yeah.
We're way too polite on this.
I'm much
this
more
show.
diplomatic on the onlines.
Right. 3 counties in Florida are doing away with civil marriage ceremonies performed by the county in order to avoid marrying people of the same sex.
Yeah.
Well, don't you know, if you can't fucking say
what the
gays can't get married, we can't marry no one.
What's wrong with
If you
Florida?
can't beat them, don't join them. Just fucking leave.
Here's where they're going to get defeated in this, though. There are already churches in the South that I've heard of that are willing to perform gay marriages. The reason why they're getting rid of the court ones is because they're saying, well, no church will marry them. As soon as you have a church willing to marry them, it don't fucking matter.
Yeah.
That defeats their whole goal of not having gays getting married.
So in response to the likelihood that a federal judge will rule that a lift on the state's gay marriage ban will apply to all Florida counties, 3 Jacksonville area counties have decided that they'll stop conducting courthouse weddings. In order to avoid having to perform same-sex wedding ceremonies, clerks of courts in Duval County, Baker County, and Clay County have decided to put an end to all courthouse weddings in their counties, the Florida Times Union reported on Wednesday.
Now, is that legal?
Well, yeah, I mean, they could just do away with that portion of the government that handles weddings and civil service.
I mean, they don't do it for anybody.
That goes, but yeah, if they're not doing it for anybody, then sure, they can do that. And they're doing it, of course, thinking that there's no church around. That okay, if we're not going to do it, and no churches are going to do it, then it doesn't matter because in effect, then gay marriage will still be not accessible to this group of people.
Is that county also not doing divorces as well?
That's a very interesting question.
Yeah, I don't know.
So you have to go through the court for a divorce.
Yeah,
right.
That's a very good question. And I actually hadn't read this story that Matt's talking about.
I read part of this the other day.
I was too busy with the Muslims and the attacks and the terrorists. And
yeah, well, we spent a heavy part of the show on that too. So, but here's the short version. So it says, a federal judge, Robert Hinkle, nixed the gay marriage ban in Florida. So Pam Bondi applied for a temporary stay, the type that's been granted in a couple of other states, only to be nullified by a 7-2 vote in the SCOTUS a week later. The last few times this tactic has been tried, the SCOTUS has just declined to even issue the stay. And in Florida, it was hyper-conservative Clarence Thomas who decided to not even bother with the temporary stay.
Really? Because that's Thomas's jurisdiction, right? Like Sotomayor did issue the stay for the 10th Circuit or whatever.
Well, she's not a Republican judge, though.
Well, right, but I'm saying it's kind of a weird reversal of roles that when Utah was going through all of that,
there was a state
and the state went to the 10th district and the 10th district denied it. Judge Shelby denied it, and then they went to SCOTUS and it's under Sotomayor's purview. She did issue a stay.
Sure.
So then it's kind of a strange role reversal that Clarence Thomas would not issue a stay.
Yeah, this guy's a fucking asshole up and down. But
I just wonder if it's leaning more into the direction of saying, stop fucking doing this shit.
Yeah.
You're
wasting everybody's time.
Just let them fucking get married.
Yeah.
Stop your fucking
It's inevitable. You're on
bullshit.
it's inevitable. You're on the wrong side of history. You're just wasting everybody's time and resources.
well, I thought it's
we
back
hope
on the
so,
Supreme
yeah.
Court's docket for this year now. Again.
oh yeah. I hope
'cause
they'll
last
actually
year,
rule on
Yeah,
it.
because last year they said we're not going to rule on it, which basically said everything that was previously done.
Well,
is
they didn't
now
say they weren't going to
law.
rule on it. They just passed
on it.
Yeah.
I thought I heard rumors that they're taking it up this go around.
Well-
it was another filing on it.
Yeah.
Because they can't. I don't think they can
Because
do it
each
twice.
case has subtle differences.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
But as soon as they get that one, it's like, hey, guess what? The previous ruling stays. I think that pretty much means gay marriage is legal in every fucking state in the United
Yeah.
States.
Yeah, I would like it to go to the Supreme Court for them to make
Just to have that
for them
final
to
nail
make
in
a
the coffin.
federal decision
Yeah.
that would be nationwide. This is the law of the land now.
Yeah. I really do not like Clarence Thomas, but
No, yeah.
And fuck the states' right side of it.
Which is such a bullshit argument. I mean, the states' rights thing is such horseshit. It's the libertarian / racist / fucking
like that you
super
threw
uber
those two
conservative thing.
Yeah.
You can kind of throw them together in a lot of
know.
their views.
I know.
They're fighting the states' right side of it. At the same time, all these states are looking at suing California over legalizing marijuana. Like, what about
Yeah.
the state's right to legalize marijuana?
Yeah.
Well, it's only medicinal in California anyway.
No, Colorado. Did I say California?
Yeah,
You
you
said
said
California.
California.
Okay, sorry. I mean Colorado, where that's
yeah.
recreational use. There's a bunch of states that are suing Colorado right now, or wanting to sue Colorado over the fact that they have recreational marijuana. I'm like, well, what about
No.
their states' right
Look,
to have recreational
Yeah,
marijuana?
and I'm sure that those are the same fucking people who argue for states' rights on other things.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, as long as it suits their personal narrative, they'll say whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah. Look, I mean, marijuana and equal marriage needs to be legal countrywide, period.
It is kind of bullshit. I mean, marijuana's a controlled 1 substance. Cocaine is a control level 2 substance, category 2. The reason why it's category 2 is because they use it and
Marijuana's 1.
Yeah, that's why I said marijuana's 1, cocaine is 2.
Is it? I thought
Because
they were the
cocaine
same.
they use in medication. If it has a medical purpose, it is controlled 2.
Oh, right.
Codeine, all your medical stuff that has
because marijuana has no medicinal purpose.
no medicinal purpose, it is a Schedule 1 drug. If it has a medical purpose, it is a Schedule 2 drug. And that's why cocaine and heroin are fucking Schedule 2 drugs.
You have to be kidding me.
I can't remember heroin. I can't remember. There's another big time you got to make in a lab fucking drug. That is the level 2.
So meth and marijuana have the same medicinal purposes?
Yes.
Nice. Yeah, perfect.
Well, I mean, Schedule 1 basically means it has
Right.
no, but it's true.
Right.
I'm like,
That's exactly what
yeah,
I'm saying.
Yeah.
So smoke some meth for your glaucoma, would you?
Oh.
Yeah, would that help that? No. Come on. Fucking pot has medicinal purposes.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
And I don't have any clue on the schedule and whatever. That's why I was very quiet.
Yeah, but but I mean, like, meth and marijuana have completely different medicinal purposes.
Oh, absolutely, sure.
Yeah, and they're schedule 1 both. Which is fucking insane.
That's silly.
Which is the reason why you have people go into prison for 25 to life for getting caught with pot 3 times.
Yeah.
Fucking insane. And we have 3.2 million prisoners in this country.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are drug. Get the fuck out
The
of here.
majority of them are drug related.
Get the fuck out of here.
I was looking at the billions of
Come
dollars
on.
the U.S. would make on legalizing
Yes,
marijuana. And
that
that was
too.
without taking into consideration the money that they would save by not imprisoning people for using marijuana.
Right.
Not imprisoning them,
Right.
not sending police after them, not
Yes.
maintaining the
With that
prison
added in,
industrial complex.
it was another few $billion included in that. It's like,
Well, that's a whole nother 10 podcasts about the militarization of police and the privatization of prisons in this country. That's 10 more.
Which
podcasts.
is the most horrible fucking thing.
I know that's 10 more podcasts, and I don't think I have the blood pressure for either one of those topics.
I think we got this whole year figured out.
I fucking hate both of that.
Hell and weed.
We're just lining up topics.
Yeah, I don't have the. All right. These 3 counties in Florida, everyone with us? These 3 counties in Florida also perform civil ceremonies at the courthouse for people getting married. Now their message is that they will issue same-sex marriage licenses because the law says they must. But they will no longer perform civil ceremonies for anybody just to avoid doing it for gay people. It's a subtle, though legal, bit of discrimination. It's a message that says the local government was happy to provide a service for one subset of the population it represents, but not another. And in order to avoid it serving everybody equally with that service, they're going to serve everybody equally by providing it to nobody. Equal indeed, but not in attitude, which is still pretty shitty of the government officials.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. In order to thumb their nose at gay people, they're going to inconvenience way more straight people. While this accomplishes their goal of giving a political nya to the gay citizens, it more perfectly achieves the effect of announcing to the world that these 3 counties are run by assholes.
Well, I mean, those counties will no longer receive money for any or any marriages, because even if you get married in a church, you still have to go to the courthouse and get the documents filed.
Yeah,
because all they're going to be doing is they're going to be going to the next county over, which will do it, and giving all the money to that county and giving money into that area.
Well, here again, we have another situation of thumbing your nose at every single possible benefit for the sake of some, quote, holy texts.
Well, and I wonder who in the government is able to make those decisions in those counties. Is it just the county clerk? You know, is the county clerk the one who makes that call and says, no, we're not going to do any of them anymore?
Because remember here in Utah when it passed, the county clerk got in trouble for not wanting to perform them. And the state said, no, you have to right now because it's legal until we get to stay.
Okay.
And the county clerk was like, well, I'm not going to do it. And they're like, well, no, you have to.
Well, but that was the county clerk saying that we just won't do same-sex marriages, not that we won't do all marriages.
All marriages. I think it's up to that's probably up to whoever.
It's above, that clerk, then.
It's above, I'll say it's whoever's in charge of that district.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Like that county's mayor could probably go through and say, we're not longer doing
I was going to say, I wonder how that goes.
That's what it sounds
who
like.
People can point the finger at during the next election cycle and say,
Jeb Bush.
You, asshole.
Jeb Bush.
No more cookies for
Jeb Bush,
you.
yeah. Like, I may be the guy that drives a fire truck to a call, but I can't say, fuck you, I'm not putting water on it, because my chief would fucking yell at me.
Yeah.
Now, if my chief said, Duffy, don't put water on that fire, I'd be like, okay.
Okay. I won't put water on that fire.
But that's what I'm supposed to do.
But okay, chief.
I'm a firefighter and I cannot put water on the fire? That doesn't make any sense to me.
There's a slight firefighter joke out there.
What's that?
It's a comedian did it, and it's funny as fuck. We always watched it before like training classes sometimes. The guy's like, he's pretending to be the station captain on duty. He gets there and he's like, this guy drives the SUV. He's always the first one on scene. He's got that nice truck, and he gets there and he's directing everybody on the scene. He's like, okay, you with the water, put it on the fire. and he's going through the whole thing. It's like, yeah, I think I get it. This stuff here, the wet stuff,
logically, that's how this should go.
Goes on the hot stuff, right? All right, cool. Nice. Got it, chief.
Thanks for your sage words.
But he goes through a whole
Don't know
thing
what
of
we'd
it
do without you.
And making fun of the lights and the sirens and having fun with it. I got to try and find it. Maybe I'll try to find that thing and put it up so you can have a little bit of firefighter humor.
Nice. It's not an esoteric audience.
Or you got the firefighter puppet and cop doing a middle school like presentation. And the cop's puppet's doing. I'm doing the hand puppet thing right now. If you can't see it,
you can't.
If you can't see it,
he's doing his
for
talk
those
about.
Of you that can, maybe you should.
Yeah,
maybe
for
you
those
should
that can,
someone.
for the 3 that can see it,
you should try listening to the show without shrooms.
He's all talking about being a cop and like, yeah, I get people that want to fight me and stuff, and I get shot at, and I get a gun, and I'm always driving around fast and not giving a speech. And then the firefighter gets up and he goes, I get laid.
Okay. Nice.
And that was the end of the firefighter speech.
They make calendars about guys like me.
not me, but
why are you daydreaming right now? That's
so I'm
weird.
like, I don't think anybody
You've got this wistful
that I know
look
that are
as you're
firefighters
kind of
are
like
actually in those things.
gazing off
No.
into the distance.
Not me.
No, like I wish
sort
I
of
was
drifted
that
off
guy.
there.
I wish I was on the calendar.
Yeah, I'll probably get a bad month. Like,
I want people to throw pictures of me in their spank bank.
yeah,
What do you think? It'd be March or what?
no, I was gonna say February because it's the shortest month of the year, so you only got to look at me that long.
Nice.
You said shortest, and I went in a totally different direction.
Nice. Well, you know, he is Irish. That's a thing, right? Yeah.
They're not naked in these things.
Oh.
Jeez.
Oh, Mr. Duffy. That's funny.
I never even noticed. Yeah, you do have the red equipment.
The red?
Yeah, the firefighter.
Oh,
Mike. I was like, the red equipment. I'm like,
I'm the ginger here. What are you talking about?
Mike,
Well, there's that. Yeah, of
Mike,
course.
the hair I got left on my head's not red.
Nobody can see that either. It's
Which is a good thing.
I have red equipment.
all of our
No, you're talking about microphones.
well, mine's orange. all of our mics and cords are color coded, but yeah, Ryan's got the red rocket.
Red Rocket.
I'm changing over to the blue mic.
That's not better,
That's
bro.
not any better, bro.
Blue balls.
That's not better. Blue is the guest mic.
It's the only colors we got.
I almost said something horribly racist in relation to mine.
Oh,
Yeah, well,
we won't even tell you what color his is.
no,
You can use your
yeah.
imagination.
That was almost really, really bad.
That could have been pretty bad. Yeah.
And it's not what you think.
No, it's probably not what you think.
Yeah.
Like Jim Jeffries said, it's not what you think.
You would have to venture. You would have to venture into the studio.
You'll have
see.
to either be
see
a
what was
guest
going on.
or watch the GRP videos.
Or like the videos that I put up on there a month ago. Or the photo I put up. 'Cause I think you can see your mic.
Now I'm fucked. Okay.
His mic is Navajo, the other red meat.
I don't even know if I understand that one.
That was told to me by a Navajo, so
So it's
that
all right.
That makes it okay for an Irish guy to repeat. I don't know how that works either.
It's like, I heard that racist joke from a racist, so it's all right for me to say.
Right.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, totally not. Okay. I think that's it. Are we done? I think that's it. You got something else?
I had seen a quick headline. I'm trying to find it now. It had Richard Dawkins in it, and the headline said that atheism is a race.
Is a race?
No,
Yeah,
that's not,
and I
that's
didn't-
not true at all.
I know it's not true. Now I'm trying to go back and find this.
That's
said
like
article.
Muslims are a race.
Right.
If you're against atheism, you're gross and racist. That's what
Which-
Ben Affleck would say.
Yeah, which I didn't get it. I'm like, what? I didn't click on it because I was looking for another story real quick. Now
That seems odd, and now you're searching.
I'm on page 5 now.
Page 5 of what?
I don't know. I'm going backwards. I started on page 7.
This still doesn't answer my question.
Oh, it's on Raw Story.
Raw.
Yeah,
What did you say? Atheist.
it had a picture of Richard Dawkins for the photo on it, and
what was
saying that atheism was a race.
atheism?
There it is.
Is a race?
Well, the headline says creationists praying for Richard Dawkins after he tweets atheism is a race. So it's saying Richard Dawkins said this.
I just pulled that up here too on the Raw story.
It says creationists are praying for Richard Dawkins after the evolutionary biologist tweeted that atheism was a race and that anti-atheists were racist.
I would guess that he was going for satire.
I'm fairly certain with that.
He was mocking the fuck out of Ben Affleck. Right? So the story says creationists are praying for Richard Dawkins after the evolutionary biologist tweeted that atheism was a race and that anti-theists were racist, atheophobic bigots.
I guess here at the end of the article it says, apparently he sent out another tweet saying that it was sarcasm. He needed to do that because some of the things he's been saying recently have been crazier than normal. Let's pray for that man.
I love the very next. So there's the opening paragraph that I just read, and the very next paragraph says, quote, I think he's either lost it or someone hacked his account. I believe the latter. Creationist Ray Comfort wrote on his Facebook page. Dawkins later clarified that his tweet was sarcastic. Well, of course, that's what I figured.
I honestly was watching some Ray Comfort bullshit the other day.
Yeah, I was gonna say nice impression though.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I saw on there that they'd meet down on this pier in California. I was like, I so want to go down there and use his thing against him.
Yeah, I've heard he's out there quite a bit actually.
Yeah, and that's where he films his fucking life water video things at whatever he calls it.
Living Waters.
Living Waters, yeah. Where I'm like, he always says, well, were you there? Did you see it? And I'm like, Did you see the Bible get fucking written?
Yeah.
Were you fucking there? Did you see Jesus
Was
Christ
Christ
get fucking
crucified?
crucified?
Did you see God
it?
make
see
Adam
it?
and Eve?
Did you
see
see
it?
any of it? Yeah.
Were
Did
you
you
there?
see Adam and Eve? Were you there? And then he'd be like,
you
well,
there?
I have this book, and it's all right here. Well, guess what? We have these fucking bones.
So,
And books too.
so I'm reading the rest of this story, and it's fairly short here.
I want to
Yeah,
go back to
yeah.
And it says,
atheophobe.
quote, atheists are a race? Yes, of course, that's utterly stupid. Exactly as stupid as the oft-heard Muslims are a race, and that is the point, he tweeted. That was Richard Dawkins,
Oh,
by the
okay.
way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like,
It's more UKE.
yeah, definitely. I was like, you sound like Stephen Fry's 24-year-old fiance. 27.
Atheism is a race. For any level of sarcasm, no matter how obvious, Twitter will find somebody stupid enough to take it literally. Comfort decided it was time for
so-
Christians to pray for Dawkins' confused soul.
Right.
And then
well,
Comfort says, apparently he sent out another tweet saying it was sarcasm.
now he's Australian.
That
Well,
was,
that's
that was,
Comfort,
that was
great Comfort is, yeah.
he needed to do that because some of the things he's been saying recently have been crazier than normal. Let's pray for the man, he wrote in an update. Yeah, that's.
I'm actually impressed with your ability to switch so fast. That's
Oh
good.
yeah, well thank you.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Thanks. My ex mother-in-law was British.
Oh, I thought she was a ventriloquist.
Was a ventriloquist.
What does that mean? Does she still have her hand up his ass? I don't understand.
Oh, because ventriloquists switch between voices.
Oh,
really
okay.
fast.
All right. So that transferred to Dan somehow.
Sometimes my jokes are a little long to get to.
Yeah,
That
I
was a
like,
slow burn, yeah, for sure.
I'm picturing fucking what's that awful fucking comedian who says he's a ventriloquist?
Jeff Dunham.
Oh my god, I fucking hate
Thank
that
you,
guy.
so do I.
He's the worst.
Yeah, dude.
He's so fucking awful.
Wasn't
He's
he like
so
an
bad.
America's Got Talent winner or something? Wasn't
I
he one of
don't
those
know.
guys?
No, that was Terry Fedor.
Yeah, okay.
But
another-
Jeff Dunham
same thing.
had that awful fucking show on Comedy Central for a little
Yeah,
while.
yeah,
I
yeah.
was so fucking glad when that was canceled.
2 episodes? Because I never even heard of it.
No, it was on for like 2 seasons,
Oh, wow.
I think. And then, but Comedy Central still fucking tries to trumpet him and like he'll do specials for them and stuff. And I'm like, why is Jeff Dunham a thing? Like his ventriloquism is fucking terrible. It's awful. Like he is the worst ventriloquist ever. And then the jokes that he makes are so fucking racist that it's disgusting.
And bad.
They're just besides being like there are funny racist jokes.
Sure.
I can say that and feel a little bit bad, but there are some racist jokes that I think
chuckle.
are kind of funny. Jeff Dunham is just fucking awful in every way imaginable.
Yeah, well, because he's got a big following, that's why Comedy Central promotes him.
I can't stand that guy.
Well, same with Larry the Cable Guy. I mean, he was big for and Foxworthy. The whole blue collar
blue
thing.
collar, yeah.
That was all
Blue
big.
Collar Comedy Tour or whatever.
Yeah,
The only one worth
The
note
reason
in that
why
whole
that was
fucking
big-
thing is Ron White.
Because he's drunk the whole time.
And sometimes,
Ron
and
White can
sometimes.
be funny.
yeah. He actually writes decent jokes.
I
Yeah.
actually liked his joke about being kicked out of the bar.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's like, I was drunk in a bar. Now I'm fucking drunk in public. You fucking put me out here.
in public. Yeah, but no, but this it's the same reason. It's the same demographic, right? Everybody that likes Dunham loves Foxworthy, loves all that, and they're all the Christians.
Yeah. It's awful.
It's incredibly overlapping. Yeah, the South. It's hugely overlapping. Right?
they're fucking
Republicans, Christians, Dunham fans. There's a major overlap there. Bible Belt. Yep.
Have you guys seen the movie Idiocracy? I don't know if you've
I
talked
actually
about
like
it on here.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
Have we talked about it really?
Yeah, 3 times.
Well, that's the
That's one
South
with
right
Dax
there.
Shepard and
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, Maya Rudolph,
yeah.
Luke Wilson.
Yeah.
A very underrated
Mike
indie
Judge
film.
show. Is it underrated? I don't know. It's played quite a lot.
I have a hard time watching it. I'm not a fan.
I like
here's the thing
the
about that
premise
show.
of it.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's really
The premise is okay.
interesting.
The execution was meh.
It's interesting.
it's Wilson.
and it's I actually like Luke Wilson in that part, but I think it's interesting.
I think
it's
Luke
an
Wilson
interesting
was
idea.
good. I thought Luke Wilson was good. Maya Rudolph was good.
Yep.
Terry Crews was brilliant.
Yeah, he
'cause
was good.
He's fucking awesome in everything he does. But
Yep. I think it was a one joke show,
yeah,
and I think
it was one joke that
played
was
on
extended
show.
way
Yes,
too
I think they
long.
played on
The
and-
Kool-Aid or the Brondo.
Well, I mean, just kind of the whole idea. But
yeah, just the whole thing
Yeah,
that people
it was
could be that fucking
fucking
dumb.
stupid.
Yeah,
But I mean, that's the way it goes. If you're gonna if you got a
it's an
large majority of people are
interesting
going to watch something, it's going to be people who sit in front of a fucking couch all day long who don't have a high intelligence. They're going to fucking laugh at the stupidest shit you put out there.
Go away! I'm baiting.
Yeah. I think I've yelled at the fire station.
Yeah, I bet you have to your room rat buddy there.
Well, we all have separate rooms, but you get the guys that'll knock on your doors and ask you a question. I swear I've yelled a few times. Go away, I'm baiting.
Go away, baiting.
Busy.
I like money.
Unless you're delivering lotion or pizza, go the fuck away.
Ooh, I'm going to use that one next time.
Anyway.
You have very nice penmanship, I wanted to mention. But
Really?
I'm looking at your notebook over here going, that's very nice.
Thanks,
Yeah.
man.
I read my handwriting. I got to try to figure out what it is, like some
flying
sort
through
of
that, but
Egyptian
thanks.
text.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, very nice penmanship.
Because he hasn't. I mean, because he still writes. We use computers.
Right. Well, see, there's a benefit.
Yes.
Although a minimal one, you could giving up everything. I mean, considering everything I've lost over trying to transfer.
You could write lovely screeds delivered by carrier pigeon.
Yeah, that's true. Well, and I think about if you think about it too. Like it's like I can write nicely, so what, right? Like, how much did people lose when they went from scrolls to books, right? There had to be a whole contingent of people being like, no, scrolls, or tablets or whatever. And then people are like, books are the future, and like, I won't do it. And
What will I do with all of these quills I've prepared?
Right, exactly. So the fact that I can write nice really doesn't, I appreciate it, but yeah,
No, it's very nice penmanship for sure.
No, thanks.
It's lovely.
We didn't get to a word of it, but that's all right. Next week, the fiery Christian hell as proposed by Jesus Christ.
I'm so excited.
That motherfucker.
That's gonna be a few episodes long, I think.
I'm so excited for that, and I'm so fucking happy to be back with you guys this week.
Yeah, dude.
I've missed this a ton, honestly.
I honestly, when I was like listening to the podcast, I was like, I want to be there.
I know. Well, and we missed you too, man. Like sitting over there is weird.
I know you're not looking at yourself in the mirror.
Well, I can't see myself.
Or the bald spot in the back of my head.
I don't pay too much attention to that, but
Okay.
but it's just I don't want to run all that. I just want to have. I don't want to have lights and buttons. I want to have books and papers.
Yeah. If it makes any noises or dings and dongs and you got to push it, Matt doesn't get it.
No, I don't get it.
He's afraid of the doorbell.
Are you?
No, what?
Well, you don't like ringing the
Oh,
doorbell.
yeah, you don't like to ring the doorbell.
no, that because
Because the dogs freak the fuck out.
No,
This
no,
thing's
no.
a 10-minute long song.
no, that's not because I'm afraid of it. That was out of a courtesy because the first time we came over here to your new place, we rang the doorbell and your dogs freaked out or whatever, and you were
Yeah.
saying it's better if you knock, and so since then I've just knocked.
No, I don't care either way.
Yeah.
Like I like my doorbell. So my house was built in 1972, and I have these. My doorbell is like the original New Tone, like 4 giant metal rods hanging down. When you ring the doorbell, it does the bing bong, bing bong, bing bong. It sounds really fucking cool, and I love my doorbell. But yeah, the dogs freak the fuck out.
Yeah.
But when me and Matt both show up here at the same time, and Matt knocks like too quietly, and Dan doesn't hear, I go fuck it, and I hit the doorbell.
Yeah. I'm not afraid of it. It was the first thing he mentioned to me when I came to his house.
So it's quite courteous.
His new house, so I try to be pleasant is all.
No, I don't mind if you ring the doorbell at all. I like the sound of my doorbell.
Right then.
Sometimes just during the middle of the day, I'll go out to get the mail and I'll just fucking hit the doorbell because I like it.
Yeah. There we are.
And because it freaks the dogs out.
So we did the podcast Phil thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And thanks to all of our courteous listeners and all those people on Atheist of Utah
How
and
are we going to
everything.
forget that?
I was
We
just so
won.
excited to be
No,
talking
thanks,
to you
Ryan,
guys
for-
again.
Yeah. We won.
Well, yeah, we won
The Godless Rebelution won the contest for Podcast Phil, which means that this podcast, in large thanks to our many listeners, raised the most money for the family in need that we were trying to help out this year. Overall, we fell well short of our goal as far as the whole Podcast Phil effort goes, but it's kind of a tough time of year to ask people for money, and
It was a
especially
short
if-
notice, too.
Yeah, well, and especially if it's not an official 501c3 because people, for whatever reason, because they don't want to donate to something that they can't write off on their fucking taxes.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and and maybe a part of it was that Dan and I stood out at Valley Fair Mall not looking needy ourselves.
And having the cops show up.
Yeah, multiple times.
Yeah.
But trying to ask for a family who we cared about and we're trying to raise money for was a little difficult because we clearly are not ourselves needy, and trying to convey that with just a few words, less than a sentence, is pretty tough to passersby. But we did it anyway. Yeah, despite the security
and
efforts.
I'm also taking it that
but
this was the first podcast Phil endeavor, and it won't be the last. I'm taking it.
Indeed, it was the first, and Jeff has said that he would like to do it again next year. I know the message that he sent out where he announced the winner, us, yay! He asked everybody if they were interested in doing it again next year, and that he was thinking of creating a 501c3 specifically for this.
that'd be cool.
Yeah, so yeah, next year hopefully we'll be doing it again and can raise some more money for people in need. But yeah, this year we won, and so we will be having Mr. J.M. Bell produce a show for us. I was on the Left show last Sunday, and he said that it would probably be
end of February, beginning of March.
Yeah,
time frame.
Yeah. It'll be probably a month or so before we're over there and get that taken care of. But
Are we going to use their equipment or?
Yeah, or he'll come over here, or I don't know.
Whatever.
I'll have to talk to him more about that in depth and see exactly how he wanted to handle that.
Anyway, I thought we also might put it out there saying, we're doing this in about a month's time frame. If there's anything you'd like us to possibly do while we guest host on another podcast, as far as a subject matter, kick us some stuff. Throw some ideas at us. Maybe we'll consider. Maybe we'll put it in there as something to do. We want to make it a fun, exciting show, so we'll be reaching out to multiple audiences, not just the audience that listens to this show.
Yeah, definitely. What would you guys like us to talk about? Is there any topic that you want us to address, or that you think would be an interesting thing for us to talk about, even if we don't do it for the winning thing that Jeff will be producing? What would you like us to talk about on the Godless Rebelution? What interests you? What would you like to hear our opinion on, or what would you like to weigh in on if you want to send us a message? You can send us a message at godlessrebelution@gmail.com or post it on our Facebook page at facebook.com/godlessrebelution. And we'll be sure to send you a reply and or read your email or comments on the show.
Yep.
Radio.
Yay! Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Had a great time.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for doing this.
Thanks,
I
Dave.
honestly fucking love it. I missed it. Like the last 2 weeks, like Wednesday rolls around and I'm like, well, I guess I'll just go and do something. Christmas Eve and the family's here. I guess I'll go hang out with them. And then, last week was New Year's Eve, and that was a little easier because I was fucking trashed.
Yeah, I would have came over for the party, but I had just gotten home the night before at around 1 in the morning from a flight, and I had to go to work the next day. So I was like, I'm not up for going to any parties tonight.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
It looked like it.
Yeah, we were up very late. I think I finally got to bed at close to 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I woke up like an hour after that to go to work.
Yeah, it was a good time. I thoroughly enjoyed myself for the past 2 weeks, but I definitely missed you guys and missed doing the show. So
Well, we missed you as well.
glad to be doing this again.
Okay, man.
Yay! And we will be back next week.
Till next week. It'll be hell.
Oh, fuck.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, hell.
Bye.